what's up? It's your boy Off 7. Today it's time for another show, and I got a very special guest. You might actually recognize this guy from the opening of my show. That's because when I met this guy in New York City, right, I thought he really we vibed on this particular level where I was like, yeah, that's the kind of guy that I would want to put in my opening. I meet a lot of people, and why was he the one that I selected? Because just kind of got that kind of sense. I'll let him introduce himself though. So what's the deal, man?
Hey, yeah. Hi, my name's Owen Charles. I'm a national delegate to the Green Party from Connecticut, and I've been a Green for about 4 years, but I've been an activist my whole life, and I was a big Bernie supporter. I was a Tulsi supporter. I really liked her anti-war message, unique voice. But right now, I'm really excited about the possibility of Jesse Ventura keeping this movement going.
Okay, Jesse Ventura. That's actually quite interesting because I also am a Green Party member for a long time, 20 years in the game. And, that's probably why we vibed along so well. Also like Bernie, also like Tulsi. So we really lined up on that particular level. So I was like, that's why this guy, I just felt that connection right there. Yeah, so this Jesse Ventura thing, I heard some of the stuff, but when I looked at the paperwork that came in, like I've been getting emails from the Green Party, right? I seen this guy named Howie Hawkins, and I got like Charlie, something like that. I didn't see Jill Stein. I know she's not running this time. I think that she was great spoken for the Green Party, but oh well.
Right.
But I didn't see anything about Jesse. What's going on with that? If people are getting emails and they don't see Jesse in the Green Party emails, what exactly is this new? It's like a new thing, right?
Right. I think it's a movement that's building. It's not anything official yet, but we're hoping. I'm a supporter, and I see a groundswell of supporters who see the possibility. But Jesse himself has taken actions. He sent a letter of intent that's public to the Green Party last week. And a couple of days ago, I believe he joined the Green Party of Minnesota to be officially a Green Party member there. So it's getting exciting. This is ramping up. Howie Hawkins and Dario Hunter are the leading candidates, already announced and official within the Green Party. And they're both good guys, and they're both right on target, I think, with their platforms. So I don't want to say anything bad about them, but I think what Jesse holds some promise of that the other candidates don't is that he can ignite really a national movement, and he can keep the movements going and bring in new people potentially from the Bernie movement, from the Tulsi campaign, from the Occupy movement, and also he used to be a libertarian, and he does have still some crossover support. He's not a Democrat or Republican. He's not a party person. He's always spoken out against the corruption of these parties. So people who want to see a new party, who want to see change, and who like to see a candidate who can really give it back as it needs to be given to both Donald Trump and Joe Biden, Jesse could be the man to do it. He's a wrestler, right? And he has a lot of popularity still. He's name recognition. He's got media connections. He's got his own show. So he's The World According to Jesse. Has been long running on RT, and before that he had Off the Grid. You can see that he's a dedicated progressive proponent, and he also has the proper background, having been a mayor of a town in Minnesota and having been governor, winning a third-party independent campaign that was outspent by the Democrats and Republicans incredibly. So this guy, he holds a lot of potential, I think, and people are getting excited about him.
Yeah, I think Jesse Ventura is very cool. I've been following him for a while. I'm not sure how politically minded a lot of the viewers are. They probably are politically minded watching a smaller channel like this. But, honestly, I do, I'm a fan of Jesse Ventura. I think he's pretty cool. And he shoots straight. He says it like it is. And there's really no filter on him. And he speaks truths that other people really don't, and that's something I deeply appreciate. So, honestly, Howie Hawkins, I know you don't want to say anything negative, but I just don't think he has that pizzazz. I don't think he has that kind of like that wow factor or that showmanship or that really presentation factor that really brings him to the top. Jesse Ventura, like I know he was a wrestler and you might think like a dumb jock. He really isn't. Like when you hear him speak, he's obviously super intelligent and he's so on. Like he's like right on top of everything. Like someone might try like the news anchors are always playing these little political games trying to like throw you under the bus, but Jesse don't fall for none of that. He's like hyper aware, and he knows how to stay on point with his topic and his focus. So hey Jesse, man, if you're watching, I'm a fan, bro. Keep it up, man. All right? Yeah? All right.
Yeah, and I think about Howie, he ran a pretty spirited campaign for governor in New York, and he was on stage in the debates and did okay. And I think he is a good candidate. But I think, we have, as always, the bias and the rigging of the mainstream media and our election system, which is run by the corporate Dems and corporate Republicans to keep out any. So that barrier is something I don't see Howie or Dario being able to break down. But I do see Jesse Thor being able to do that, and that's where people power can come into play, because he's all about people power as well. If you've heard his show, and I think in Ralph Nader, I think is friendly and a supporter of him, and Ralph Nader talking about breaking through power by people getting involved. So if people get involved, as I think Jesse Ventura could mobilize and inspire people, we could have a significant third-party run, the way that there was in Ross Perot many years ago, and he almost had enough votes to win.
Yeah. I liked Ross Perot, honestly. I'm kind of like, maybe Nader himself is cool, but honestly, the Nypergs, I feel like, have done a lot of damage to New York State, like to the movement. Honestly, I'm deeply involved with a lot of I was involved, I'm probably still involved with like a lot of college activism. And the way that the Nypergs do it, right, is they say we cannot address anything locally or anything like going on directly at this college. So we won't fight against tuition increases or anything like that. We're only going to deal with things at the state level. I think that's just straight cowardice. So, I've had a lot of negative experience with Nyperg, but I get it too. But it's weak and it's really
I was a Nyperg volunteer many years ago.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that really pisses me off, because there's really urgent problems going on in the SUNY and CUNY systems, like huge corruption. But but you can't really blame Nader for that, right? That's his people running it and making the decisions. So, and honestly, he has a good track record of doing some really cool things. He does have national recognition, and I have to totally agree with you. Jesse has wins in his column, whereas Hawkins really doesn't. So and I just, even being from New York, right? Like I wasn't really paying, even though he ran here, it wasn't really something that really hit my radar. Definitely Jesse is definitely it makes so much more sense. So let's suppose that people, it seems like this Jesse thing's catching on. I saw him on Graham Elwood the other day. He was advertising him. Yeah. And you said that he was. You said you were going to be on another show soon, right? Didn't another show contact you about possibly helping to push this Jesse Ventura thing?
Well, yeah, and again, I speak as myself, a volunteer, a supporter. I'm not part of any official campaign or anything, but I hope to be on Hardlands Media.
Yeah, so that just shows that there's a level of interest. Yeah, there's a level of interest there. That's not pushed by us. Or pushed by Jesse. There's just honest interest in his and that's a really good sign. That's what you need. At least you need a lot more, but that's starting things off in the right way. Yeah,
not to take a spiritual view of this, but the way that if you're in a movement, if you're some moments with Tulsi or some of the big rallies with Bernie, they would send a shiver up my spine. I would feel spiritually moved and really this is something I feel proud of, and I'm so glad is happening. I see that happening with Jesse Ventura. I see a lot of people saying, hell yeah, this is what we need now. We need somebody who represents another party, not one of these bought and sold political parties, who I understand and who understands me, and will listen to what people want and fight for what people want. And that's what he did when he ran as governor, and he won. He won. They didn't think he was going to win. He raised
absolutely. They treated him so disrespectfully, but he just took it and he just won anyways. So screw him. Yeah, I love that. Yeah. So people want to get involved. So looks like my co-host Lisa is about ready to jump in. Actually, I will add her on a little bit later. I just want to finish up a little bit here. So the thing is that let's suppose that people want to find out more about Jesse running for office. How can they find out more?
Well, I think they can contact me directly, Owen Charles 2003 at yahoo.com.
Okay, link will be in the description. Facebook. Yeah, okay, for real. And on the screen.
Facebook. But you can also just look up, I think it's On Twitter and elsewhere as We Want Jesse. You will find some sites and get involved there. And I think there's a lot going on Twitter, but there's also on YouTube and Facebook and everywhere. But yeah, if you want, you can directly contact me and I'll try and hook you up. But I mean, I would also emphasize Jesse is a Green. He supports the Green platform, the 10 key principles and the 4 key values. But he also, is making clear that he is, a veteran for peace, basically. He is someone who has served, but who wants to demilitarize our economy. He wants to bring home troops for a large part and get involved in a Green New Deal. These are all things that we, I think, across the spectrum want. We want less money going into our military adventures, $1 trillion to support our healthcare and our education and our infrastructure. And these are all things that Jesse is very on board with. So I think, if you're Green, but also if you're a socialist, if you're a Bernie supporter, if you're a former Tulsi supporter, a Yang supporter, I think a lot of people are getting on board saying, well, this is the next big movement, and this is going to go for me.
Yeah. I could get down with that. You're starting to convince me, man. I made a video saying, like, how hard it is for third parties to win. It's been a tough fight, man, but Jesse, I felt like in 2016, like the movement was so close to like a third party was really available. Like there was masses on the ground like crazy, right? But this one, like, with this COVID thing and then, the way that everybody peered out and endorsed Biden, like it was just so disgusting, left everybody like feeling defeated and walking away in disgust, It didn't really, I think it'd be hard. Maybe so, though. Honestly, right? This is the time where the real warriors prove themselves. And if it doesn't happen this time, right? For next time, you're going to know who's really working on it. Let's get together, honestly, and
exactly.
Never say die. Never say die. Let's work for it. You're going to learn so much doing this one, right? But there's still a chance. Nobody closed the door yet.
Right.
We still got a chance, number one. Number two, if you say this is the reason why I'm not going to get involved, you're not going to learn anything. And then when they say luck is when opportunity meets preparation. And you need to prepare. And you can start preparing right now, learning how to do this stuff. A lifelong, that's why I vibe with you, man. Lifetime the Green Party, always fighting that uphill fight, supporter of the right cause. Honestly, I love what he said before too. If you like Tulsi's platform, if you like Bernie's platform, really look at Jesse a little bit more if you don't know about him, because honestly, you will find him very appealing. And hey, don't take my word for it, look it up yourself, for real. Yeah, so, hey man. Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, I was trying to get out.
No, that's all right.
If you like Tulsi, you like Bernie, I don't know. I got all this stuff here, but the main thing is, it could happen this year. That would be great if Jesse could win as a Green Party candidate. But it could happen. But what definitely is within reach is getting more than 5% with a candidate if they were to run a candidate like Jesse Ventura. And if you get 5%, you can get matching funds. You can really build the party. You could possibly get into debates, and that's the next level that we need.
Yeah,
and I don't think that happened. As good as Jill Stein was, and I worked like heck for her after I dropped out of the Democratic Party after they screwed Bernie. I worked a lot for Bernie. Then I worked for Jill, and there was a lot of people involved in that campaign. And we thought, oh, maybe she'll get 5%. She barely got 1%. And she had a great campaign. So I think Jesse can really, his name recognition, his ability to inspire people, it could spell out 5%. It could spell out a lot more.
And one thing that I want you guys to really listen to what this guy says, right? Take it from someone who's been in the game for a while, right? That's me. Also, this guy, right? The idea of coalition building and building for the long term, right? And the thing is that, like a lot of people think that like just one time flash in the pan and like, no. You got to like build those relationships with the ground movement and convince people to come with you. You can't, so I love that idea of coalition building. There's no purity tests here. We don't have the strength to say, oh, we're too good for you or you're not enough for us. We're here to really open a dialogue and find out what you want and build together and help you get what you want. It's not about what we want. It's about what we can do together and what's in our common interests and goals. We don't, that's your best friend. The friend in need is a friend indeed. We need your help. We will be your best freaking friends, for real. Yeah, for real, man.
Yeah, that's what I've been about. And I think especially the zeitgeist right now, people are floundering like, okay, they're picking this horrible, rapist, pro-militarist, liar. Which one are we going to choose? We've got two of them.
Yeah, exactly, right. I was like, are you talking about Trump or Biden? Like, which one? Because they're the same. You know what I mean? I'm literally making a video right now. Yeah, like return to the.
Like,
yeah. Okay.
But
they're both doing
you have
this.
to change where you are.
Yeah.
Like if you're in the socialist alternative, or if you're in DSA, or you don't necessarily have to become a Green. I think this is about coalition, and I don't think Jesse is running necessarily to be the Green. He wants to be I think if he was to run, he would be a coalition candidate.
Yeah, the people's president.
Bring everyone along.
It's not about a label. It's about really just representing the people. A label, you know what I mean? Yeah, for real. And I love that.
And I think, I support other groups too. I like what MPP is doing, Nick Brana and the Movement for the People's Party. I like what they're doing, and they have they're building. I like Socialist Alternative and Shama Sawant, what she's done in Seattle. And I love the organization of PSL and DSA. We've got all these great groups. And when you and I were at that protest in Times Square, a lot of them were there. There were, a couple hundred people, and it seemed like, at least 100 different groups there.
Yeah, and I got information from each one of them, right? And, like, honestly, it was weird, but some people who are running the campaign were like, don't try to, like, contact them and get their emails. That's exactly what we should do. We should be building those coalitions and, talking to them and building for the future. You know what I mean? Change won't happen overnight. Not Rome wasn't built in a day, and we got a lot of work to do. Yeah. So.
Right. I once had a chance at the Left Forum a couple of years ago to ask Ajamu Baraka, who was the great vice presidential candidate for the Green Party. And I asked him, what do we do for the future? What do we do in 2020? He said, don't think only about 2020. Think about 2024.
Exactly.
2020, and how we're going to build, and think about the stepwise direction. So I think from that perspective, if we have a candidate who could at least meet the 5% threshold and maybe get into the debates, that is a key thing we have to accomplish this year. And that's why I think, it would be fantastic to have Jesse Ventura running.
Yeah, the way this Biden campaign is going so horribly, he could take a really bad stumble, and this could be like the lucky opportunity. And if we're not ready to go, what a shame. Get in, get involved, make it happen. Oh my God, the future. Nobody's future is promised for anybody.
And one great thing about the Green Party, I spoke about all these other parties, but the Green Party has electoral experience. We've got people on the ground. We've got, we've got ballot access. I think it's 40 states currently, and it's building. So the Green Party has the infrastructure to run the third-party campaign. We're the best set up for it, and that's one excellent thing about the Green Party. But I think we're also, a welcoming people's party, essentially, and that's what we need to do, is invite everyone in. And I think a transformative campaign, or a transformative figure like Jesse Ventura could do that.
Okay. I remember you also said that there's some critical dates coming up because some of the primary has gone by already, right? So you said there's a special date for New York. I'm from New York, right? Where are you from? You're from Connecticut. Lisa's from LA,
I'm
right?
in Connecticut. Yeah. We're going to be having our voting starting in 2 weeks. 25% of so this is a challenge. If Jesse gets into this, and hopefully he does soon, if he gets into this, 25% of the primary votes have already been done. So it's a challenge. In New York, voting wraps up this week. In New York, voting wraps up this week. In New York, voting wraps up this week. You have to have your ballots in by the 9th. So if you're not registered Green, you can register online, and you should do it right away, and then go to the New York Green Party site so you can get your ballot and send it in. It's the same in some other states. Florida, I think, is voting now, and West Virginia. So wherever you are, look up your local Green Party, and please consider registering, joining, and then also you could write in Jesse Ventura.
Okay.
So join this.
I want to make sure that I know I brought Lisa in just a little bit late to the party, right before we were talking about just some basic stuff. Now we're starting to talk about how to get the movement in on the ground. So he's from Connecticut, I'm from New York, you're from Los Angeles, right? And I want to hear your perspective, about this whole, because we were just in the Taking Action Group meeting that we have every week. Yeah, and then some guy was like, yeah, I don't believe in the Green Party. I believe in the Democrats. I was like, whoa, dude, I'm not like trying to pick any sides, but Lisa's like, yeah, Green Party, yeah. So I was like, definitely want to make sure she gets her time in here. So Lisa, welcome to the party. What's up?
Hey, I feel there aren't any really permanent, they say in politics there are no permanent friends and permanent enemies, only permanent interests. And I think that, progressives, even in the Democratic Party, a lot of their interests ally with the Green Party's, platform.
Yeah.
And, the problem is they feel that the Green Party can't get traction. But I feel that with a good candidate, at the very minimum, we can pass that 5% threshold where we'll be set up for 2024. Now, a little bit of my background, I used to do foreclosure defense. And so I know what it's like to go through a foreclosure fight. And I know what it's like for other people. And I've seen a lot of vulnerable communities. And I used to give lectures to church groups and brokers and real estate agents and attorneys. And I know that these next 4 to 5 years, 6 years, are going to be really, really tough. And so one of the things that Ed and I have been discussing with our group is basically how unsustainable the things have been, our processes have been, and how to make our communities more anti-fragile. And I think part of that is adopting a lot of the things on the Green Party platform.
Oh, yeah.
I like Jesse Ventura. I think he's strong, and I think that another good thing about him is that he'll pull people from the right to vote for him. And so I see a lot of cross-plat support. But people, when they hear the word green, they think extreme, and they're not really clear on what it actually means.
I hope it's not my fault, because I'm definitely extreme.
Right.
Yeah, but that's one of the problems. And so,
Well,
I'll ask a lot of people, like, a lot of libertarians I know, especially because Ed and I met through the Tulsi campaign.
Me too. Me and Owen too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Tulsi had some of that pull too. I think she had some people across the
Absolutely, she did.
It helps that she's a military service
Absolutely.
veteran, and she's serving. It helps Jesse, I think, as well, that he was, basically a Navy SEAL, and that he served.
So
Because there's not a lot of people who appreciate that.
So
my thing is that, even Jill Stein said that.
Okay, wait a second, because we already had like a lot of conversation before. So the thing is that, right, for California though, right, like people, like if you're in New York, honestly, I'll meet up with people and go with them to the polls and meet up with them, on that day, on that primary day, if we got to go out there, if we got to do it by mail or whatever, right, I'll air an episode that day, to help organize the people, that's just me speaking, right. In LA, right, California, do they have a primary coming up?
No, we had ours March 3rd.
Oh, but what about for the Green Party? That's for the Democrats, right? But what about for the Greens? I think for the
everybody.
yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned. We're going to release another episode. Yeah.
You mean, where is the Green Party convention going to be held?
Most of them are either conducting voting through mail-in, or some of them are doing
convention, not the primary. The
the convention. That's going to be online as well. It looks like, and it's going to be in late July.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's online.
Yeah.
I believe it's pretty sure. It was originally going to be in Detroit, and as far as last I saw, I think mid to late July. I thought it was July 17th, but I'm not sure. I don't have it right on my fingertips. And it will be online. Yeah.
And can anyone go?
I think it will be open, but people who can vote there will just be delegates. It's the same as within the other parties. Delegates are chosen in a primary, and portioned accordingly. And so this is a big focus of any kind of preparing a run.
Exactly. Jesse will need delegates in New York, right? Because honestly, like you'll need to know that they're loyal to him, because if they're loyal to someone else, they could take those votes and swing them another way. That's definitely of concern. So, now's the time to organize. You could do it.
You think that I'm going to say some subversive things now.
Well,
do you think that some delegates will flip?
Anything could happen, but Taking Action Group, right? We're not partisan. You could come to us for any reason to organize for any particular party or for any particular ideal. It's just a place for activists together. So feel free to come to us to meet other people or to get incubators. Like we'll provide you with like different like ballot petitioning. Or like how we outreach to our people. We're just about straight like encouraging activism, and but this sounds like something personally that I would get down with. Yeah.
Okay, let me ask Owen some questions. Do you have a of all primaries that are yet to happen for the Greens?
Somebody does. I don't. But I know that New York is going on this week. I know I have to work on Connecticut in a couple of weeks, and I know West Virginia and Florida are happening right now. I know that 25% ballots are due to be postmarked by this Saturday. So if you're not currently registered Green, let's say you wanted to vote in the Democratic primary and you switched like my wife did and many other people did, then you better get online and switch your voting registration. It's easy to do. In New York, you can do it online. Then take a screenshot of that and then go to the Green Party of New York website and get your ballot.
Yeah, there's no time to waste. You cannot that's why I'm so busy. I'm always like pushing people like, yo, I need you to like stop with the crap and let me get to what I need to do, because honestly, right, there's such a long list. And I swear to God, I need some help. Please come to Taking Action Group and help us out. Honestly, I need help really bad. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Okay, so right. I have some questions, and I know Ed used to be a Green and Owen. What do you think that we can do to like either curry a lot of Bernie people or a lot of the Tulsi people to help?
They just got to know. So many of them don't even know. Some of them are ready to make the leap. They just don't know.
From what I get that, I understand, but Howie right now is way in the lead above Dario,
right.
And so I know that there's a lot of people voting for Dario, but Jesse upsets the rate. Like people would actually join the Green Party just to vote for Jesse, and
that's a hope, right? That's a hope. Be a party in terms of enrollment, and if he were to get in. Or even just speculatively now, you can go and write him in. He's not official yet. He has filed a letter of intent with the Green Party, right? And he joined the Minnesota Green Party recently. So it's looking good, but nothing is official. But you can write him in, as you can do in most ballots. But 25% of the votes have been cast. So it's going to be an uphill battle. I think it could be then a brokered convention, right? If Howie doesn't get 50%, it's going to be a tooth and nail fight. But then there could be a brokered convention. And then, I think what we'll see if Jesse does announce is we'll see a huge groundswell of support. We already are seeing a lot on social media and Twitter and all over. So I say, go ahead and join that groundswell and hook up with We Want Jesse. I think 2020 is one of the Twitter sites. And then there's also We Want Jesse YouTube site. And people can also contact me if they want at Owen Charles 2003 at yahoo.com or on my Facebook, and I'll be glad to also connect them because locally I think state infrastructure is not that great in the Green Party, and Jesse's not official yet. If he is going to become official, that'll be another thing. But so then organizing really has to be kind of through volunteer testing the waters, push. Like we really want Jesse to run, but he's not running officially yet. So let's keep this movement going. If then he announces, boy, I think the stuff is going to hit the fan, and it's going to be a big movement. And as I was saying to Ed earlier, I feel the same kind of chill down my spine that I felt at Bernie rallies. And when Tulsi was kicking ass on stage, there's moments where you feel this, and I think that's what's going to happen in this movement, and people are going to get on board.
He's that kind of galvanizing candidate that I think that he can. I mean, I don't know if you saw him on Joe Rogan, but Joe Rogan asked him if he was going to run, and Joe Rogan said, if you ran, you would win, and Jesse's response was, I know. And he's like, well, why don't you run?
Okay,
And he's
damn,
like,
I didn't know about that. All right, I'll put the clip
Oh
in.
yeah, go look at, go
Okay,
watch
all
it.
right, okay.
Go watch it.
I think that's
Yeah, with all the extra time I have. Yeah, okay. With all that extra time that I have. Yeah, okay. All right.
It could be a win. It could be a win.
You don't even have a kid.
Especially the cheer.
This is my kid. This is my baby. This is why I have no girlfriend. I don't want one. This is my life. I'm serious. It will get in my way. Yeah, and this is all I care about. That path is close to me. Let's leave that alone. All right. Hey man, Owen, you're an inspiration, man, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate it. Hey, good luck on Heartlands Media. You know what I mean? I think you're a powerful speaker, and I look forward to building with you soon. God bless, my brother.
Thanks a lot. It's been great to speak with you, and it was great. One of my favorite memories of this campaign was meeting up with you at the Times Square rally. That was great.
Oh, thanks, man. Really appreciate that.
Wish you the best.
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, thanks. See you.
Take care.
These videos are independently produced and funded, and your support is deeply appreciated. Liking the video and subscribing helps the channel, and ringing the bell icon will keep you notified as to when we upload new content. You can also check out our other social media platforms. We'd love to hear from you. We also have our event calendar, links in the description. On our Reddit, you can come in and get on the conversation and check out some of the memes. Like and share, it really helps us in the YouTube algorithm. Every week on Sunday, we have a live online meeting where you can join us in working to create and nurture the change that we need. I'd like to invite you to check out some of our other videos. Until next time, may all your actions bring you success. Stay focused, stay strong, and reinvest in yourself as well as your community. Together, our efforts can be greater than the sum of the parts. The power is in your hands. Thanks for watching.